Hello, I'm Andy Smith. I'm currently a student at the University of Virginia. I'm 21 years old, and I have partial simple seizures, so only seizures in the eyes. Um, I always love to tell my story of epilepsy because I only have eye seizures. Whenever I tell someone I have epilepsy, they instantly say, "Oh, so when you have a seizure, you go to the ground and you start shaking." And that instantly makes me realize how little everyone knows about epilepsy. Um, and there's always just this certain stigmatism that comes with epilepsy that every epileptic really knows. It's just part of the disease. It's part of the disorder. And what I really like to talk about with epilepsy is that every epileptic knows that there's this certain amount of uncertainty that comes with epilepsy. You never really know when your next seizure is going to come, and a lot of fear is instilled because of that. And one of the things I like to harp on with epilepsy is that with this uncertainty, you really have to take a positive outlook on it rather than being limited because of it. So I like to think about the positive characteristics that actually have been instilled upon me because of my epilepsy. One of the main things I've realized because of my epilepsy is I've become very determined in terms of changing medicines, all the hardships that come with it. You kind of have to persevere through these hardships. And also just becoming a hard worker and just having to kind of understand your limitations. So, I mean, all of this has actually really gone into a lot of the stability that has come into my life. And also it's improved my grades just because I know that I have to have a stabilized and organized life. But one of the main gifts that epilepsy has actually given me is that it's allowed me to realize that because I have one of the diminished forms of epilepsy, I have a great chance to help all those others who have more serious forms. Um, and this is where Google can really come in and help, and that's why we should turn Google purple for a day. One of the main things that's happening with epilepsy is that there's currently a very big lack of awareness for epilepsy. And this leads to a few things. First off, there's insufficient funds for research. And this is where one of the main issues with epileptics is that there's a lot of side effects that come into medicines. For instance, it can cause exhaustion. Another thing is severe depression comes along with it, and a lot of people feel suicidal. And third thing, which is more severe, is that there's actually rashes that come with some of the medicines, which can even hospitalize people. So these side effects really could be diminished if there were more funding for research. And this all stems back to that lack of awareness. Now, if Google could turn purple for a day, this could really affect the people's awareness and just the whole world's understanding of what epilepsy is. Now, that's just on the research side. There's also the whole idea of that stigmatism. If people had a better understanding of epilepsy, they'd really be able to understand what goes on behind the scenes, how it actually affects the family, and they'd also know that it isn't something that's strange. They know that there's many forms of epilepsy. There isn't just the shaking on the ground, the tonic-clonic. And so they'd know that there isn't just the one type of seizure. So having a better understanding of it would not only just kind of reduce the stigmatism, but I think it would also reduce the bullying. I mean, one of the main side effects for people with epilepsy is they actually get bullied in school, and this also helps or kind of increases that depression that many people have. So I think Google turning purple for a day could really help in terms of creating awareness for epilepsy, but also could impact a lot of people's lives positively around the world. So I think that'd be really helpful, and I hope that one time, just for one day, we could have Google turn purple. Thank you.